Hi grade 11, in today's video we're going to focus on creditors reconciliation statement. So before we start with this lesson, guys, I want to appreciate you to choose this channel. So please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like this video so that you will get notification every time when I upload video related to grade 11. Also don't forget that you are going to use the same channel, guys, to study your grade 12 accounting, as we also upload grade 12 lesson for accounting. So without wasting any other time, let's start with our video to do. Alright, so I already drafted the answer book, but the answer book, guys, in this case it was given as you can see on the screen. So let's go and read the information that has been provided. Then after that we're gonna do adjustment according to the information that we've been given. All right, creditors reconciliation. They said AKC trader buy goods on credit from Tembeka supplier. So which means that our business is AKC trader and our creditor or our supplier is Tembeka Ltd. Okay, then 1.2.1 they say that use the table provided to indicate change to the creditors ledger account. Remember when we said creditors ledger account, we are referring to our books. Okay, and the creditors reconciliation statement, we simply refer to books of our supplier. Okay, you also have to know that. Okay, then we have 1.2.2 refer to information C about the invoice of 395. It was discovered that the purchasing manager, Bradley, had taken these goods for his personal catering business. Bradley took a inventory for personal catering business. Then the owner regarded Bradley as valued member of staff. Okay, and does not regard this as a theft. So the owner is saying that this is not a theft because Bradley is a valued member. Now the question is, what should the owner say to Bradley regarding this incident? Guys, no matter how the owner and the employee are very close, we have to use what we call an ethical principle. So let's check suggestion and solution on this question. What the owner says to Bradley regarding to this incident. So this is these are some of the explanation that has been given. Number one, he should not take advantage of his position in management. Okay. Number two, this can be reviewed as a wrong, or it can be reviewed as unethical. Okay, it's another alternative answer, and this is against a business policy. Of course, as a business, we can't allow employees to withdraw a good. Okay, this is against the policy. Okay, then this is what Bradley have to do. He must pay back the money, or he could open an account with the business and purchase the goods. Okay, another one, he could negotiate with the owner in advance to get a special price or a staff price. Okay, that's what this point is talking about. The other one, he could be liable for disciplinary action. Okay, then the last one, he must be given a suspension or a warning, a dismissal. Okay, if he got caught again stealing the inventory. So these are some of the answers that you were supposed to answer in this point. Okay, then for now on, let's go and do the table that we have to fill according to creditors ledger as well as creditors reconciliation statement. Okay, as you can see on the screen, we have been given a creditors ledger account, which is information number A. Number B, we've been given a statement account from Tembeka supplier. So what we are going to do is transaction number C. We are going to read a transaction number C one by one. After that, we fill according to what we understand, according to the transaction that we've been given. They say that this transaction contain error, omission, and other information. Okay. Number A, they said invoice 289 was incorrectly reflected in the account of Tembeka supplier in the creditors ledger. Okay, these goods were purchased from Tami supplier, which means that Tami supplier is a third party, because in this case we are dealing with only Tembeka as well as Ekasi traders, our business with Tembeka supplier, which means that if we find any other entities included, which means that we have to do what? To cancel those checks. Okay, so in this case, what do we do? Okay, let's go and check invoice 289. Obviously, invoice 289, it is not there on the statement account of Tembeka, but it's reflecting on our books. Okay, our books that we record Tembeka supplier. Let's check 289. 289 is amount of 49,100. Now the question is, was it added or subtracted? Now let's check. If you check, we have a debit side and credit side on our creditors ledger. If you check, the first balance that we have, opening balance, is 81,000. And if you go to the second balance, it is 178,200. How did we get that 178,200? Obviously, we added 97,200, which means that the credit side of creditors ledger is a plus and the debit side is a minus. Simple as that. Okay, which means that a 49,000, because it is on the credit side, it has been added. Now what do we do? Remember, we are cancelling because this is amount that belong to Tami supplier, which means that we are going to say minus 49,000 under creditors ledger. All right. So this is the table that we have been given. They stated that this side is a creditors ledger and this side is a statement, okay, of Tembeka supplier. All right, so which means that 49,100 we have to correct it under a creditors ledger. So if we were preparing a creditors ledger in terms of debit and credit, obviously we were going to do what? To debit it because it was credited. In this case, we're gonna say minus 49,100, or you can say it's supposed to be debited if you are creating the other format than the one that we've been given in this case. However, part 2, I'm going to do a creditors ledger account where we are going to show a debit and credit. However, the principle is still the same because I'm indicating that you have to do what? To debit. Okay, now let's go to transaction number 2. A creditors note of 791 was recorded incorrectly on the statement of account. This related to the correct entry for debit note of 702 in the creditors ledger. Okay, which means that in this case we have to check a credit note of 791. 791, if you check, let's check 791 under statement of account, is amount of 13,100 on the credit side, and they stated that this amount is incorrectly. Okay, and they said this is related to correct amount of 702 of debit note under a ledger account. Okay, 702 is 10,300, which means that the correct amount is 10,300, and on the other side of statement of account is incorrect, which means that this is the side that we are going to do what? A correction. So instead of recording amount of 10,300, they recorded 13,100. Now let's check, is this a subtraction or addition? If you check on the statement of account, a 13,000 is on the credit side And when we go to statement of account, on the credit side, what do we do? On the debit side, we add, but on the credit, we subtract. Remember, these two statements do vice versa. They are doing opposite, in other words. Okay, which means that because on the credit side, we are subtracting, which means that in order for us to go back to 10,300, we have to add back a different. Why are we adding? Remember, this 13,100 is a negative. If you say the negative 13,100 and you add a different, you are going to get a 10,300. Simple as that. Okay, which means that what we are going to do, we are going to say 13,100 minus 10,300, and we get 2,800. Okay, it's number B. Number B is plus 2,800. 2,800. Okay, apology about this one. Is number A. We're supposed to write it here. 49,100 is debit. Okay, this one is gonna be debit as well. Why debit? Because remember, it has been credited. It has been credited negative 13,000. So when we add, we debit. Simple as that. All right. So before we go to number C, this column we were supposed to record a balances. The balances is the balance that we get for each statement at the end. Then we do adjustment. This is a copy and paste. So this is how we are going to do it. Very simple. If you check the last balance on the creditors ledger account, is 117,200. 117,200. On the statement of Tembeka, the last balance is 157,200. 157,400. Simple as that. Then we go to number C. Number C, they said invoice of 395 on the statement of account was goods ordered by a currency trader. Okay, and they add it here, which means that we have to check 395. 395 is 12,500. Was it recorded that side? Invoice 395? No, it's not recorded at all on the creditors ledger account. So now what do we do? Because on the statement of account, it has been debited, which means that when we go to that side, we have to credit. And when we go to credit, that the other side is a plus. Okay, on the creditors ledger, the credit side is a plus of 12,500. 12,500 is a plus on the credit side. Okay, then let's proceed. So we have to make sure that each and every time, if on the statement we have 200, even on the ledger account must be 200, so that we get the same balances at the end. So this is what actually we are doing. Okay, we have to make sure that if it's that side, it must be recorded that side. If it is not that side and it does not belong to that side, which means that we have to cancel the other one, like the first one that we did, because it was not belonging to these two companies. Okay, now let's go to number B. Tembeka supplier also purchased goods on credit from a currency trader. A currency trader has transferred a debit balance from the debtors ledger, for that is a general voucher of 585. Tembeka supplier will include this on the next statement. Okay, now let's check. General voucher 585. 585 is the amount of 6,400. Okay, 6,400 has been included on the creditors ledger account, which means that even on the statement of account of Tembeka must be included until it appears. Okay, remember when we do bank reconciliation statement, if we paid something in advance, maybe we are in January now, and we make a payment of March, which means that amount must reflect until that month. Okay, so don't be confused by this statement that states that Tembeka will include it in the next statement. We also have to include it here. So just like that, the same principle. Okay, so it's amount of how much? 6,400. It has been recorded on the debit side. So which means that when we go to statement, it must be on the credit side. And on the credit side, you know that you subtract when you come to a statement. Okay? Minus 6,400. Okay? Then let's proceed to the next one. The next one is number E, if not mistaken. Yes, number E. The transaction on 24 April 2021 is for merchandise returned to Tembeka supplier. Okay, let's check the date of 24 from the statement. 24. On 24, they return amount of 9,700. Okay, then the amount of 9,700, let's check on the other side. If you check on the statement, they recorded on the credit side, which is correct, because we have to subtract, because the credit side of statement is a subtracting, because it has been returned. Okay, but if you check on the creditors ledger account, it also credited. Remember, when we do these two statements, they must do vice versa. If we debit this side, we have to credit the other side. So they did mistake on the creditors ledger account or on our books by doing what? By crediting, because our supplier already credit, which is correct, and we also credit, which is wrong, which means that we have to do what? We have to cancel and do the rest thing. So how are we going to adjust this? Very simple. Very simple. Okay, the first step is to cancel. We are going to cancel by saying minus 9,700 on the debit, of course, because the creditors ledger we cancel on the debit. Okay, but we are not done. Remember, this is a cancellation. Now we have to do the correct one. Minus 9,700 on the debit. The other one is to show the cancellation of the error that we did. Then the second one is to do the correct thing, because it was supposed to be debited. Okay, so now let's go to the last one. Very simple and straightforward, guys. Okay, all right, so the last part, guys, is very simple, which is number F. So number F, they said that the statement account reflect a transaction up to 25 April 2021, which means that in this one, we don't know how much is it, because they didn't give us any amount, which means that what we are going to do, because we know that this statement must be the same with this one, what we are going to do is to add everything here. Whatever that have negative, we subtract. Whatever that is positive, like this one, we are going to add. Then after that, make sure that this one, you do both of them. Okay, then after that, we're gonna get what? A balance. Okay, so if you calculate all this, it's going to give you amount of 61,200. 61,200, which means that 61,200, it must be the same amount, even this side, 61,200. Now, because we have this amount at the end, which means that you can be able to calculate your number F as a what? As a balancing figure, because in this case, they didn't give us amount. But if they give us this amount, obviously, what we were going to do, we were just going to calculate total this side and total this side and get the same amount. As long as you didn't do any mistake from number one, you are going to get total from everything. So if you take 117 plus minus 49, Okay, apology, we are going to do this side. We take 57 plus 2008 minus 6004. Then you subtract with this one. The answer that you are going to get here, you subtract this one. Then you will get amount of negative 92,600. 92,600. Obviously, if you calculate from top, 57 plus this minus this and minus this, you are going to get 61,200. So I'm going to do part 2, guys. So please make sure, guys, before you leave this video, make sure that you have subscribed and like this video so that YouTube will notify you when I upload part 2. See you on the next one.